ఏంటి తెమ్మనిలే. ఎంత వస్తుంది? Students, we are supposed to start with life processes, PYQ. So I was waiting for a few students to join. So those who joined, if you write your names, I'll be happy that whether those students who used to join regularly joined or not, I'll come to know. This will be very beneficial to you when you will solve many question papers. So solving previous year question papers gives you confidence so that you can appear your exam thoroughly. So here, the first question, we are starting with 2025. Secretion of less saliva in the mouth will affect the conversion of. So your options are given. Secretion of less saliva in the mouth will affect the conversion of. Option number 1, protein into amino acid. Option B, fats into fatty acid and glycerol. C, starch into simple sugars. Sugar into alcohol. Is there anyone who want to give answer? Is there anyone who want to give answer? So here 4 options are there. Once again repeating the question. Secretion of less saliva in the mouth will affect the conversion of. So is there anyone who want to give answer? Okay, as no one are answering, so let's find out the answer. As saliva helps in the conversion of maltose to sugar. That is, the carbohydrate are getting converted into simple sugar. So here answer is option number C. Starch into simple sugars. So let's verify the answer. Correct answer is starch into simple sugar. So those are attending, if you will answer, it will be much more happiest moment. I'm waiting for the comments. Those who are attending, please try to answer. Now the next question, breakdown of glucose has taken the following pathway. Breakdown of glucose has taken the following pathway. Glucose are getting converted into pyruvate plus energy, that is A, glucose is getting converted into pyruvate plus energy, then B, lactic acid plus energy. The site A and B respectively are. So here, mitochondria and oxygen. First option, mitochondria and oxygen deficient muscle cells. Second option, cytoplasm and oxygen rich muscle cells. Option number C, cytoplasm and yeast cell. And the fourth one is cytoplasm and oxygen. So is there anyone who want to answer it? Repeating once again the question. So here, question is given, the breakdown of glucose. Glucose is getting converted into pyruvate and energy at the site A, and at site B it is getting converted into lactic acid and energy. So what are A and B? You need to find out the sites. So here the four options are given. Okay, some of you are answering option number A. A is the answer. So let's find out whether A is the correct answer or not. Mitochondria and oxygen deficient muscle cells. So here cytoplasm and oxygen deficient cells. Mitochondria, aerobic respiration is taking place in presence of oxygen. So that the first one, glucose is getting converted into pyruvate. That the pathways of conversion is very important. You need to go through with that. Even for the long answers, that question is very important. Option number B is, D is correct answer here. Cytoplasm. Deficiency of oxygen is correct. As in deficiency of oxygen, that is in muscle cells, we get lactic acid and energy. Okay, now moving to the next question. The opening and closing of stomata is related. Opening and closing of stomata are related. Opening and closing of stomata are related to option number A, carbon dioxide concentration in stomata, temperature in guard cell, oxygen concentration in stomata, or the amount of water in guard cell. Answer quickly. What is the correct answer for this? Opening and closing of stomata is related to. So if you recall back how the stomata opens and closes. So some of you are answering. I'm waiting for your answer. Please comment on answer. So it will be like a practice test for you. So when we'll try to answer. Okay, no answer. Guard cells opening and closing is related to amount of water. It is having no concern with concentration of carbon dioxide, temperature, or oxygen. So correct answer is option number D. So let's read it in detail. Amount of water in guard cell. The guard cells control opening and closing of stomata. This is important question for even 1 mark also, like 2 marks questions also. So go through with that. Guard cells control the opening and closing of stomata. When they are full of water, turgid, the stomata opens. When they are turgid, stomata opens. When they lose water, then the stomata will shrink and it will close. So this is we completed. Next question. So let's move to the fourth question. Here the question number 4. 1 cell thick blood vessels are known as. 1 cell thick blood vessels are known as alveoli, capillaries, arteries, veins. Is there anyone who want to answer? 1 cell thick capillaries, 1 cell thick vessels are known as. So what is the correct answer? 1 cell thick vessels are known as alveoli, capillaries, arteries, or veins. So what is the correct answer? Again, no answering, No comment. So here, one cell thick are known as capillaries. Option number B. Capillaries are one cell thick blood vessels that allow exchange of materials like oxygen, carbon dioxide, nutrient and waste between the blood and blood tissue. So they help in exchange of carbon dioxide, oxygen, nutrients, waste and blood in the blood tissues. Now next question, question number 5. The essential elements used in synthesis of protein. Essential elements used in synthesis of protein. Nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, magnesium. What is essential element in the synthesis of protein? Those who are attending, please try to answer. Again, no answer. Protein synthesis is related to nitrogen. Nitrogen is essential element required by plant for synthesis of protein and other important compounds like nucleic acid. So synthesis of protein is under the control of nitrogen. So nitrogen helps in the synthesis of protein and other important nucleic acid. Now true, false. Select a true statement about the lymph from the following. Lymph vessels carry lymph through the body and finally open into large arteries. They carry lymph and finally open into large arteries. Lymph contains some amount of plasma, protein and blood cells. Option number B. Third one, lymph contains some amount of plasma, protein and red blood cells. Fourth one, lymph vessels carry lymph through the body and finally open into large vein. So which statement is true? Repeating once again. Statement correct related to lymph. Lymph vessel carry lymph through the body and finally open into large arteries. Second one, lymph contains some amount of plasma. Okay, so some of you join. Will you answer? Would you like to answer? Okay, those who joined, would you like to answer? So here the correct option related to lymph is B and D. So once memorize these points, those who are attending. Lymph contains plasma, protein and white blood cells. Even they can ask, write a note on lymph. For that this answer will be beneficial to you. Lymph contains plasma, protein and white blood cells. Lymph vessel carry lymph and open it into large vein, helping in return to tissue fluid to the blood. So they help to return it to tissue fluid. Okay, now the next one. Select the correct option from the following statements. Again, so this is related to human heart, functioning of heart. Right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body and send it to pulmonary vein. So if you recall back, there are two veins. Okay, pulmonary vein and artery. Arteries always carry pure blood. Veins always carry impure deoxygenated blood. Only pulmonary vein is the exceptional case which carries pure blood. Here in the first option, it's given right atrium receives deoxygenated blood. अगर हम आंसर देखें तो क्या दिया है? Right atrium receives deoxygenated blood. यहाँ तक आंसर हमारा सही है. Different parts of the body, ये भी part सही है. Send it to pulmonary vein. Pulmonary vein is the only vein which carries pure blood. मतलब ऑक्सीनेटेड ब्लड, लेकिन ये डीऑक्सीनेटेड ब्लड है. मतलब हमने ऑप्शन नंबर ए को कट आउट कर लिया, वो गलत है. वी नीड टू फाइंड आउट द करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट्स. सेकेंड वन, left atrium sends deoxygenated blood to right ventricle. From atrium, it is passing to ventricle is given. Again, this one is also wrong, क्योंकि atrium से हमारा blood जो है वो ventricle, left से left ventricle को आएगा. It's not like it will be reaching to the right one. So option number B is also wrong. Next, right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from the body and send it to the right ventricle. From right atrium, it is entering into right ventricle. Sequence is correct. Now the D1, left atrium receives oxygenated blood from the pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery is the only artery which carries deoxygenated blood. Here the sentence is related to oxygenated. So option number D is also wrong. So our correct answer is option number C. So let's check out the answer. Correct answer is option number C. Right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from the body and send it to right ventricle. Now the next question. Parasitic mode of nutrition is observed in. We see parasitic mode of nutrition in which of the following? Parasitic, where organism is depending on other. Bryophyllum, hibiscus, cuscuta, or helianthus, where we have parasitic mode of nutrition. So is there anyone who want to answer? Is there anyone who want to answer? Today those who are joining only for the time pass, I think there is no response, no comments, nothing. Parasitic. Cuscuta is the total parasite. So correct example is, correct one is option number C. Cuscuta is also known as amerbale. It shows a parasitic mode of nutrition as it obtains food from the host plant, on which it climbs by absorbing nutrients through specialized structures called haustoria. You can remember this name. Haustoria are the special structures through which it will be getting food from its host. It is a parasitic. It is a parasite and its mode of nutrition is parasitic mode of nutrition. Now the next question is related to assertion and reasoning type. So first assertion is given. In large animal, oxygen can reach different parts of animal's body easily. So again the assertion is wrong. As the animal is large, here blood cannot, large animal oxygen can reach different parts easily. So it's difficult. There is a connectivity, liquid fluid is there, blood is there. Through blood it is getting mixed and then it passes to different body. Next reason, respiratory pigment take up oxygen from the air and carry it to blood tissue. So is there anyone? The one more student joined. Would you like to answer? Repeating once again assertion. In large animal, oxygen reach different parts very easily. So how the oxygen is getting to every part? Respiratory pigment is present. So respiratory pigment of the large animals is hemoglobin, which combine with the oxygen and convert it into oxyhemoglobin, and then it is transferred. Both A and R true, and R is the correct explanation. So here A is false because in large animal blood cannot reach directly or easily. Okay. So here in large animal oxygen cannot reach all body parts by diffusion alone. Therefore a well-developed circulatory system is needed. So here we need a well-developed circulatory system. And then the second one, reason was correct, like we are having a pigment called hemoglobin which combine with oxygen and helps in the transport. So assertion was wrong and reason is true. Now the next one, assertion, xylem tissue moves water and mineral obtained from the soil. Xylem moves water and mineral obtained from the soil by the roots. Reason, xylem tissue is found only in root of the plant. Again you can see here the reason is wrong. It's not only found in root. So xylem and phloem, they are the vascular tissue which is present throughout the body. Assertion, xylem tissue moves water and mineral. Assertion is correct. Okay, it helps in the movement of water and mineral, but reason is wrong as it is given. It is found only in the root. So here A is true but R is false. Xylem indeed transport water and mineral from the root to other part of the plant, but not found only in the root. It is present throughout the plant body, including stems and leaves. Okay, now next question. Which of the following is not an excretory product in plant? Not an excretory product. So first one is carbon dioxide, second is starch, third resins and gums, and fourth is dead cells, which is not excretory product. Carbon dioxide, it is a gaseous excretory product. Then next is resins and gums, dead cells. So here the correct answer is starch, as starch is a synthetic food which is synthesized during photosynthesis. Plant move waste such as carbon dioxide through stomata. Resins and gums are stored in xylem or dead tissue and are removed when the parts are shed out. Dead cells are not excreted but are discarded by shedding of leaves, bark or tissue. Now the next one, 12th question. The basic filtration unit of excretory system in human being. Basic excretory system is excretory unit they're asking. It is not related to excretory system. Excretory unit. Nephron, urethra, neuron and urinary bladder. Neuron, it is related to nervous tissue. So the basic excretory system, excretory unit. So is there anyone who would like to answer? Which standard syllabus is this part of? Okay, this is of 10th standard. We are dealing with the PYQ of life processes. So this is CBSE 10th. PYQ solution of life processes. To which standard you belongs, or a general viewer? If you belong to 10th standard, I'll be happy if you'll participate in answering. Okay, here nephron is the unit of excretory system. Okay. So here nephron is the basic structure and functional unit of human kidney. It is responsible for filtration of blood. So nephron is the basic unit and it helps in filtration and urine formation. Next question, 13th one. In human alimentary canal, the digestive juice secreted by the gastric gland. So here in human alimentary canal, the digestive juice secreted by the gastric gland are. So what are secreted by gastric gland? If you recall back, digestive system. So human digestive system, gastric juice that is secreted from the stomach. So it contains HCl, hydrochloric acid, pepsin and mucus. Okay. So here option number D, some of you gave. No, it's wrong. Okay, correct answer is option number B. So as B is hydrochloric acid, stomach contains hydrochloric acid, then pepsin and mucus. Hydrochloric acid has two functions. One, it kills the germs present in food, makes the medium acidic for digestion of protein. So as the food contains carbohydrate, protein and fat, protein will digest in acidic medium. So that acidic medium is provided by HCl, hydrochloric acid. And pepsin helps in protein digestion and mucus protect the inner lining of stomach from HCl. Okay, now moving to the next question. So here the correct answer is option number B, hydrochloric acid, pepsin and mucus. Now the next one. Listed below are the steps of nutrition in amoeba. Select the correct sequence of these steps. So here the first one, diffusion of simple nutrient into cytoplasm. First one, diffusion of simple nutrient into cytoplasm. Second one, food vacuole formation. Third one, formation of finger-like temporary extension of cell surface. Next, fourth one, complex substances broken to simple ones. List out the steps of nutrition in amoeba. You need to write the steps of nutrition in amoeba. So first one, finger-like projection or temporary extension of the cell surface. So here there are finger-like projections which we call pseudopodia, with which it will take the food. Second one, diffusion of, so here food vacuole formation where the food is being trapped out. So first one is third, after third comes second, then diffusion of the nutrient into cytoplasm, and finally, okay, before that complex substance will broken down to simple. 3, 2, 4, 1 and 5. Correct sequences? Option number C. Very good. Correct answer. Correct option is option number C. 3, 2, 4, 1 and 5. Next question number 15. 15th question. In aerobic respiration, the steps are breakdown down of glucose to pyruvate and its further conversion to carbon dioxide. Both processes respectively occur in aerobic respiration. First one, breaking down of glucose to pyruvate and further conversion. That is, pyruvate will convert to carbon dioxide. So both are taking place simultaneously. First one, vacuole and cytoplasm. Option number B, chloroplast and mitochondria. So here no concern related to chloroplast. So blindly you can cross out option number. Okay, answer already given. Okay, not given. Chloroplast from option number B will not come. Option A will also not come as vacuole is there. We are having no concern of these 2 points over here. So what is the correct answer? You need to choose our answer from C or D. What will be the correct one out of C and D? Aerobic respiration. Correct option is option number D, cytoplasm and mitochondria. This pathway is very important. Okay, you don't know. So your correct one is option number D, this pathway. Okay, for 10th standard, this pathway is very important, which they ask for even 3 marks also. So here two like aerobic respiration, respiration which is taking place in presence of oxygen. So the glucose is first broken down to pyruvate in cytoplasm. Here the glucose is getting broken down to aerobic means lack of oxygen. No, aerobic means in presence of oxygen. Anaerobic means lack of oxygen. N means without. Okay. So here aerobic respiration, glucose is getting converted into pyruvate. Then in cytoplasm, pyruvate will convert further to carbon dioxide and water. In mitochondria, it will release energy. So you can see that the first process, glucose is getting converted to pyruvate, that is in cytoplasm. Then the pyruvate will undergo 3 kind of mechanisms. It can be absence of oxygen, that is in yeast. In absence of oxygen, we call it as fermentation. Okay, when there is no oxygen, pyruvate will convert into ethanol and carbon dioxide. Okay, ethanol and carbon dioxide, which we call fermentation. Generally for the dough, idli or dosha dough or the bread, all these are prepared by this mechanism where yeast will convert pyruvate to ethanol and carbon dioxide. Then lack of oxygen. If less oxygen is there, that is in our muscle cells. Sometimes, bread also. Sometimes in lack of oxygen, um, like if there is more energy need, our muscle cells respire. So that is in lack of oxygen where it is converting into lactic acid and energy. Pyruvate is converting into lactic acid and energy. Very good. That's why we get muscle cramp. Okay, muscle cramp we get. And in presence of oxygen in mitochondria, it will convert into carbon dioxide and water, which we call aerobic respiration, where high energy is released. 38 molecules of ATP is released. Lack of oxygen, only 2 molecules of ATP is released. So this pathway is very important. Those who are preparing for 10th standard, for them, it must be done very perfectly. Now moving to the next question. Besides minimizing the loss of blood, why it is essential to plug any leak in the blood vessel? So why it is important to have any leak in the blood? Okay, few minutes only. Okay. So here, which question? So once again, I'm repeating the question number 16. Beside minimizing the loss of blood, why it is essential to plug any leak in the blood? Why it is important to plug means to control out the blood. Name the component of the blood which help in the process of blood clotting and its function. So here, these are long answers. Transport system in the, either they have given the choice circulatory system or related to transportation, that is related to plants. So let's read the first answer. It is essential to plug any leak in the blood vessels to prevent blood loss and maintain blood pressure so that oxygen and nutrient can continue to reach all parts of the body. Repeating once again. So here it is important to control the blood loss so that oxygen and nutrient can continue to reach all part of the body. And your answer was correct. Platelet, it controls the blood clotting. The component of the blood that helps in the process is platelet. Okay, Tanmay, your answer is correct. Very good. Next, platelet release certain enzyme that help in clotting of blood, forming a clot or a scab as at the site of injury, thereby sealing the wound and preventing further bleeding. So thus it prevents further bleeding. Now the next one, in choice they gave the question related to transportation in plant. So what is transport system in plant? The transport system of plant is slower than animal. So what was the reason? Plant do not have pumping organ like heart. So why the transportation system in plant is slow? The reason, they don't have any pumping organ like human beings. We are having pumping organ heart, which helps in pumping. The second one, movement of materials in plant depends mainly on physical process such as diffusion, osmosis and transpiration pull. So here the mechanisms are different. In animals, circulation is completely under the control of circulatory system. Whereas in the case of plants, it is related to physical process, diffusion, osmosis and transpiration pull. So thus the process is very slow. Tanmay, are you there or you left? Okay, you are there. Why you wrote sun? So here question was, once again I'm reading the question here. Here the question was, the transport system in plant is relatively slower than animal. Give reason. Why the transportation system in animal is slower than, plants are slower than animal. So answer will be, as in the plant, the process is related to physical factors, physical processes like diffusion, osmosis and transpiration pull. And the next one, state the role of phloem in the transport of materials in the plant. What is the role of phloem? Phloem helps in translocation of food, that is photosynthetic food. Okay. For the suction to create the leaves, evaporate the water for the process to begin. Very good. That all explanation you can write. There they ask the question simply. Okay. Only one, like 1 mark question was there. Why it is slow. If you're writing, it's well and good. Otherwise, main you need to concentrate, like here the process is physical one. Okay, no pumping organ is there, physical process, diffusion, osmosis and transpiration pull is there. And the next one related to phloem. Phloem transport the prepared food from leaves to other part of the plant like roots, fruits and storage organ, and the process is known as translocation. Question was, what is the role of phloem? Phloem helps in translocation of food. Now the next question, would you like to answer? What is the main function of arteries? Why do they have thick and elastic wall? Why arteries have thick and elastic wall? Would you like to answer? Why the walls of arteries are thick and elastic? And what is the main function of arteries? Main function of arteries. Are you answering? Main function of arteries, okay. Function to supply oxygenated blood, very good. Its function is to supply oxygenated blood. Function of arteries, why the walls are thick? Thickness, okay, you are not familiar, so I'm answering it. So as the pure blood is passing out in the artery, arteries carry oxygenated blood, which is from heart to different body organs. As the blood coming from the heart is under high pressure, to control that pressure, the walls are thick. Okay, so what is happening here? Arteries are carrying pure blood, and that blood is from heart to different body parts. Here the blood is under high pressure. To control it, the walls are thick. Okay, so let's read the answer once. Plants get rid of the waste material in several ways. Glucose waste, gaseous waste like carbon dioxide and oxygen are removed through stomata. Gaseous one are removing through stomata in the leaves and lenticels in the stem. Excess water is lost by transpiration through stomata. Resins and gums are stored in old xylem or the other dead tissue and are removed from the plant when these tissues are shed. So resins and gums in the dead tissues. Waste may also stored in leaves, bark or fruit which falls out. So this is related like how they get rid of their waste. And next, this plant use different methods to manage the removal of waste efficiently. So there the question was how the plant manage out waste disposal. Next question, 19th one, based on characteristics of the processes given in bracket in each case, differentiate between the following. Product of broken down of pyruvate in aerobic and anaerobic respiration in human beings. Just now we discussed what is the product of pyruvate. Product of pyruvate. What is the product of pyruvate? When pyruvate will break down, what are the products? So 3 pathways you need to write. In absence of oxygen, in yeast, in lack of oxygen, and in presence of oxygen. So already we discussed, I'll skip out this answer. So this is very important question, prepare it thoroughly. Another question number B, respiration and photosynthesis in plant. We need to write the gas released. During respiration, which gas is released? And during photosynthesis, which gas is released in plants? Would you like to answer? Tanmay, would you like to answer? Tanmay, would you like to answer here? Respiration, carbon dioxide. During photosynthesis? Very good. During photosynthesis? Oxygen and water. Very nice. Now the third question, respiration in terrestrial animals and fishes, organ involved. How the respiration in terrestrial animals and fishes taking place? So let's see this third answer. So here the rate of respiration in aquatic animal is quite faster than the terrestrial animal. Terrestrial animal, as usual, like you need to explain about the respiratory organ. Don't know, I'm reading that answer, you just see here. Terrestrial animals. So here the third answer, terrestrial animals, lungs are the organ of respiration. Okay, terrestrial lungs are the organ of respiration, whereas in the fish, gills are used for respiration. Aquatic animal, gills, and terrestrial animal, lungs. Clear? Terrestrial animal, it is lungs. Aquatic animal, gills. Now the next one, enlist any 2 nitrogenous waste product removed from the blood of human beings. Okay, any 2 nitrogenous waste product removed from blood of human kidney. Answer quickly. Any 2 nitrogenous product removed from kidney. Next, name the capillary cluster formed by the branch of renal artery in women's capsule. So what is that capillary? Cluster of the blood capillary. No clue. Okay, here a nitrogenous waste they're asking. Ammonia, urea, uric acid, all those are nitrogenous waste. And the blood clusters, if you recall back that nephron structure, there we have glomerulus, okay, which is blood capillaries. Then depict the form of flow chart, the path of urine formation. So you need to write urine formation in flow chart. Let's see answer here. Nitrogenous waste are urea and uric acid. So once have the learning also, so that if you get this question, you can answer out. Nitrogenous waste, it's urea and uric acid. Capillaries, cluster of capillaries are called glomerulus, and then flow chart of urine formation. So here first, kidney is preparing the urine that is entering into ureter. If you recall your excretory system diagram. So urine is collected from urinary kidney via ureter, and it is stored in urinary bladder, given out through urethra. From urethra outside the body. So the question was, write a flow chart. Is it over? Shall I move to next question? Nitrogenous waste. Very good. Nitrogenous waste. Vivek, I should catch you and beat you. It's 5-5. Do you know how late you are? We completed 20 questions. Now we are in 21st question. You don't know timings, everyday's timings? Okay, now the next question. Why is blood circulation in vertebrates known as double circulation? Trace its path in the form of flow chart. Whatever you are doing, we have only 1 hour class. Can't you attend on time? Okay, here why the circulation in vertebrates is known as double circulation. During every circulation, as blood comes to heart twice, so we call it as double circulation. So one is from the right side, and other from the left side, like right auricle, ventricle, in the same way left. Okay, and the next one, in the way of flowchart, we need to show the path of circulation. So let's go through with the answer here. Blood circulation, once those who are attending, read this answer. So here, blood circulation in vertebrates is called double circulation because the blood passes through the heart twice during one complete cycle. As blood passes to the heart twice during every cycle, so we call it as double circulation. Passes to heart twice during one complete cycle, once for oxygenation and once for supplying oxygenated blood to the body. This ensures efficient separation of the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. So as the blood is moving twice, so there is efficient separation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Now flow chart for the double circulation. So how we are having, so here you can see pulmonary vein and pulmonary artery. So here left atrium, left ventricle and aorta, all the, like when we draw the human heart, in the same way you need to think and write. Like left side pure blood is flowing out, oxygenated blood, and right side deoxygenated blood. So blue color is showing out the deoxygenated blood, and red one is oxygenated blood. From pulmonary vein, from heart, oxygenated blood is collected and is given to left atrium, and deoxygenated blood from superior and inferior vena cava is collected to the right atrium. Then both the auricle and ventricle will contract. Both the auricles will contract, right and left. As a result, the blood will pass to ventricle. From ventricle, left ventricle will supply it to different body parts, and right ventricle will pass the blood to lungs for purification. Vena cava is the largest vein and aorta is the largest artery. Aorta supplies the blood to complete body parts, oxygenated blood. Here they have given the wrong sequence. Instead of pulmonary artery, The topmost one will be vena cava, and the bottom one will be pulmonary artery, which will take the blood for purification to lungs. So once correct out that. Okay, now the next one. Question number 22. What is the first step of cellular respiration? In which part of the cell does it occur? What is the first step of cellular respiration? In which part of the cell does it occur? Write the equation for the process of breakdown of glucose in human cell. How glucose is breaking down? 3 marks question. In presence of oxygen, due to lack of oxygen. So this question we are getting constantly in like every paper, every year they give some sort of questions from that pathway. So learn that perfectly. Okay. What is the first step of cellular respiration? First step they're asking. In which part of the cell does it occur? Okay, that's So let's see the answer. First step, the pyruvate. First one is breaking down of glucose to pyruvate. The first step of cellular respiration is breakdown of glucose into pyruvate. Then where it is taking place? Cytoplasm. Okay, pyruvate to glucose is in cytoplasm. Then the two different pathways they asked. Where the presence of oxygen. Presence of oxygen is aerobic respiration and absence of oxygen, anaerobic respiration. Lack of oxygen, that is muscle one is not asked this in this case. So anaerobic respiration, ethanol and lactic acid in yeast, whereas the aerobic respiration in mitochondria. Second step we get mitochondria. For the first step, cytoplasm will be the answer. Vivek, listen is carefully. You wrote mitochondria. The first one is cytoplasm. Second one is mitochondria. And in mitochondria, it will convert into carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Here again they have given wrong 30 to 32 ATP. Here 38 molecules of ATP. First one 2 and second one is 38. Then the next one, aerobic respiration equation. Glucose C6H12O6 will convert into, okay, in presence of oxygen. Aerobic they have given separately. In your textbook you don't have separate equations. You can learn the direct one. Okay, C6H12O6 will give 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus energy, that one. Here they have given separately. Glucose is getting converted into 3 molecules of carbon dioxide and 3 molecules of water, and energy is released. The next one, pyruvate is completely broken down into carbon dioxide and water in mitochondria, release energy due to lack of oxygen, that is anaerobic respiration. In anaerobic respiration, it is converting into lactic acid and energy. Anaerobic respiration, lactic acid and energy. Anaerobic respiration, that is lack of oxygen, is taking place in muscle cells. Now the next question, okay, think about the 23rd question. Read the question and collect answer in your mind. Okay, answer you have given right atrium. This is related to diagram just discussed. Where say, okay, so here name the blood vessels that bring oxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood is just we discussed it. And then also name the chamber of the heart which receives deoxygenated blood, and state how deoxygenated blood from this chamber is sent to lungs for oxygenation. So how it is sent to lungs for oxygenation. So everything you have given answer correctly. So first one is right atrium, where we get the deoxygenated blood. And then first question was name the blood vessel that bring oxygenated blood. Okay, name the vessel which bring deoxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood. So oxygenated blood is brought by pulmonary vein. Next one, deoxygenated blood, right atrium, correct answer. Then name the chamber of the heart which receives deoxygenated blood, and state how deoxygenated blood from this chamber is sent to lungs for oxygenation. So here the blood from right atrium would go into right ventricle and it would be pumped to lungs. Vivek, you forgot to write about via what it will be pumped to lungs. By pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery is the only artery which will take the deoxygenated blood from right ventricle to lungs for purification. Okay, so let's see the answer once. So blood vessels that bring the oxygenated blood from heart is pulmonary vein. The blood vessel that bring deoxygenated blood from heart is vena cava. So I told you like deoxygenated blood is vena cava. It is superior and inferior vena cava. Okay, next one. Right atrium of the heart receive deoxygenated blood from all parts through vena cava, and from right atrium blood will pass to right ventricle, which pump the deoxygenated blood to lungs by pulmonary artery. Keep it very clearly in your mind. From all the body parts, deoxygenated blood is collected by superior and inferior vena cava. From there, through pulmonary artery, it will reach to lungs for purification. ठीक है, राइट साइड का जो हमारा पाथवे है, राइट साइड में हमारा डीऑक्सीनेटेड ब्लड आ रहा है. कौन लेके आ रहा है? सुपीरियर एंड इंफीरियर वेना केवा बॉडी पार्ट से लेते हुए फिर पल्मोनरी आर्टरी के साथ वो लंग्स पे पहुंचा रहा है प्यूरिफिकेशन के लिए. जबकि हमारे लेफ्ट साइड में प्योर ब्लड, ऑक्सीनेटेड ब्लड इज ब्रॉट बाय पल्मोनरी वेन. पल्मोनरी वेन लेके आ रहा है और वो राइट साइड लेफ्ट साइड से होते हुए अरोटो को दे रहा है. अरोटा इज सप्लाइंग दिस टू कंप्लीट बॉडी पार्ट्स. सीक्वेंस एक अच्छी तरह से याद रखना, इस नेमिंग्स के समय पे कंफ्यूज मत होना. ओके, नाउ द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, 24th वन. द लेंथ ऑफ द स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन इन वेरियस एनिमल्स डिपेंड ऑन द फूड दैट they eat. Okay, this is based on like 7th standard. 7th standard we were having the digestive system, so it is related to that. So यहाँ पे why the length of the small intestine is different in different animals. Justify the statements. Do you know this? Is there a trick to remember? For circulatory system you are asking, Tanmay? Circulatory system? Listen carefully. When you draw it, just you make a diagram of the rough like heart in the shape of heart. Okay, what like the symbol here you can see you have given that just heart symbol, and make the 4 divisions. The side which is towards your right hand is left auricle and left ventricle. Towards your right hand is left auricle and left ventricle. Towards your left hand is right auricle and right ventricle. Just we need to write opposite. That's the first step. Second step, left side always carry pure blood. You can remember like heart is present left. Okay. Vivek, a few minutes only. He is asking for the circulatory system that I'm explaining. Then we'll discuss answer. So here, right side impure deoxygenated blood and left side pure oxygenated blood. Here the oxygenated blood is there, pure blood. How we get the pure blood? From lungs. Lungs has got separated oxygen and deoxygen. So carbon dioxide From lungs, we are getting oxygenated blood to the left auricle via pulmonary vein. Pulmonary vein is bringing oxygenated blood from lungs to left auricle. From left auricle, the blood will reach to left ventricle. From left ventricle through aorta, it is supplied to body parts. Repeating once again, lungs से होके पल्मोनरी वेन ने उसको लाया, पल्मोनरी वेन से होते हुए वो लेफ्ट ऑरिकल में आया, लेफ्ट ऑरिकल से होते हुए लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल में पहुंचा, नहीं लेफ्ट ऑरिकल वाया, हाँ वेरी गुड, फिर उसके बाद वहां से होते हुए अरोटा से होते हुए बॉडी में सप्लाई हो गया. लंग्स से पहले तुम एक फ्लो चार्ट लिख लो, तुमको लर्न करना इजी हो जाएगा. पहले लंग्स से होते हुए पल्मोनरी वेन से होते हुए वो लेफ्ट ऑरिकल से होते हुए लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल, फिर वहां से अरोटा. लंग्स, पल्मोनरी वेन, लेफ्ट ऑरिकल, लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल, अरोटा, देन बॉडी पार्ट्स. ये हमारा लेफ्ट का कंप्लीट हो गया. जब अब हम राइट में आ रहे हैं तो राइट साइड में इम्प्योर ब्लड है. हाँ, पहले लंग्स हुआ, पल्मोनरी वेन हुआ, फिर लेफ्ट ऑरिकल हुआ, लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल हुआ, अरोटा, देन बॉडी पार्ट्स. वेरी गुड, सीक्वेंस हो गया ये लेफ्ट साइड का हमारा. अभी राइट साइड का कहाँ से हो रहा है? राइट साइड बॉडी पार्ट से वो कलेक्ट कर रहा है. कौन कलेक्ट करेगा? सुपीरियर एंड इंफीरियर वेना केवा. आइदर यू कैन राइट वेना केवा और यू कैन राइट सुपीरियर एंड इंफीरियर वेना केवा फ्रॉम बॉडी. सो पहले हमारा शुरू हो रहा है बॉडी पार्ट्स, सुपीरियर एंड इंफीरियर वेना केवा, देन राइट ऑरिकल, right ventricle, then through pulmonary artery sent to lungs for purification. चलो एक बार सीक्वेंस लिख लो. सुपीरियर एंड पहला हो गया बॉडी पार्ट्स, फिर वहां से आया सुपीरियर एंड इंफीरियर वेना केवा, उसके बाद राइट ऑरिकल, राइट वेंट्रिकल, पल्मोनरी आर्टरी, फिर हो गया लंग्स. कंप्लीट. वेटिंग फॉर योर सीक्वेंस. जैसे पहला वाला सीक्वेंस लिखा, इसका भी लिख दो एक बार, फिर आराम से याद रह जाएगा. हाँ, वेना केवा से राइट ऑरिकल, फिर राइट वेंट्रिकल, पल्मोनरी आर्टरी, फिर वहां से लंग्स. लास्ट में लंग्स लिखना है. देन इट विल बी सेंट टू लंग्स फॉर प्यूरिफिकेशन. इसी में फिर आंसर को ऐड कर लेना. अगर ऐसे क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं कि व्हाई द सर्कुलेशन इन ह्यूमन बीइंग्स इज कॉल्ड डबल सर्कुलेशन, ये दोनों सीक्वेंस को लिख के as the blood passes twice to the heart, so we call it as double circulation. तो वो आंसर हमारा कंप्लीट हो जाएगा. सर्कुलेशन के बारे में भी पूछते हैं तो बस इतना ही लिखना है सीक्वेंस को. बस इसमें तुमको 3 पॉइंट्स और ज़्यादा याद करना है. what is the circulatory system? So human circulatory system is made up of heart. Human heart is 4-chambered. Its size is like closed fist. Upper 2 chambers are called auricle, lower 2 chambers are called ventricle. In between the right auricle and right ventricle, there is tricuspid valve. In between the left, there is bicuspid. Okay, you passed out. Still you are answering. Nice. As you was answering, I thought like you are 10th grade student. 2010, long ago. Still you remember all this. It's nice. Like, I thought you are preparing, so a little seriously I was saying answers to you. Okay. Nice. Okay, let's move to the next question. So I'll not waste your time more. Try to answer much more. Now, Vivek, you was answering. So once again, I'll read that question. The length of the small intestine in various animals depends on the food they eat. Okay, how the length is depending on food they eat. Justify the statement. Discuss the role of pancreas in bile juice in the digestion of food in human beings, and how is the small intestine designed to absorb digested food. So let's see the answer. So length varies depending on carnivorous and herbivorous, if you remember. The length of the small intestine varies in different animals. Read this answer once. Vivek, seriously read it. So here the length of the small intestine varies in different animals according to their diet. Herbivores such as cow and rabbit, the small intestine is longer because cellulose take more time for digestion. So here the herbivores, they have small intestine longer in size. The reason is they need more time for digestion. In carnivore, like tiger and lion, it is shorter because the animals eat flesh, which is easier to digest. For carnivorous, alimentary canal is smaller in size, or the small intestine is small in size, as it is easy to digest flesh compared to cellulose. For herbivores, it is larger in size, longer in size. Second one, role of pancreas and bile juice in digestion of food. So here, pancreas secretes pancreatic juice. Pancreatic juice contains trypsin, lipase, and pancreatic amylase. Okay, they have not given pancreatic amylase that you can add. 3 secretions we are getting from pancreas. The first one is pancreatic amylase, trypsin, and lipase. Pancreatic amylase helps in the digestion of maltose, which completed. All the best. Thank you for your time. No, I was also interested. So seriously, you was answering. So I felt like you are preparing for 10th board exam. And that too very happy to see that after a long time, like around 2010, you were passed out, means 16 years back, you did all this. Still you remember all. So it's great. And nowadays we are finding the students who don't remember the answers. Okay. So here, pancreatic amylase is converting maltose to glucose. सलाइवा का फंक्शन बता दीजिए. सलाइवा क्या कर रहा है? सलाइवा फूड को पहले तो वो स्लिपरी बना रहा है, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट, सलाइवा कंटेन्स सलाइवरी अमाइलेस विच कन्वर्ट कार्बोहाइड्रेट टू maltose, simple sugar. Then that maltose will be digested here in the small intestine by pancreatic amylase. दोनों तुमको रिलेटेड टू एमाइलेस. सलाइवरी एमाइलेस माल्टोज में कन्वर्ट कर रहा है शुगर को, और जो माल्टोज बना है माल्टोज को ग्लूकोज में कन्वर्ट करता है पैंक्रियाटिक एमाइलेस, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट हो गया ट्रिप्सिन. पेप्सिन और ट्रिप्सिन एक जैसे हैं. पेप्सिन ने प्रोटीन को पेप्टॉन्स में कन्वर्ट किया स्टमक में. अब वो पेप्टॉन्स को एमिनो एसिड में कन्वर्ट करता है ट्रिप्सिन. फिर लाइपेज जो है एमल्सिफाइड फैट, जो कि बाइल जूस ने एमल्सिफिकेशन किया, उस एमल्सिफाइड फैट को फैटी एसिड एंड ग्लिसरॉल में कन्वर्ट कर रहा है लाइपेज. लाइपेज इज फैट डाइजेस्टिंग एंजाइम. तो ये हमारा कंप्लीट हो गया. फिर नेक्स्ट है स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन इज हाईली अडेप्टेड. स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन के स्ट्रक्चर के बारे में बताया है. तो तुमको क्या लिखना है कि स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन हैज़ फिंगर लाइक प्रोजेक्शंस विच हेल्प्स इन एब्जॉर्प्शन एंड इंक्रीजिंग द सरफेस एरिया ऑफ एब्जॉर्प्शन, ठीक है. तो ये भी अभी कंप्लीट हो गया. इसके बाद है नेक्स्ट, फिंगर लाइक प्रोजेक्शंस आर कॉल्ड विलाई विच विल इंक्रीज द सरफेस एरिया ऑफ एब्जॉर्प्शन. अभी और वाला क्वेश्चन क्या था, मुझे क्वेश्चन याद नहीं है. लेट्स सी. चॉइस में था स्टेट द रोल ऑफ रिंग्स ऑफ कार्टिलेज प्रेजेंट इन थ्रोट. सो व्हाट इज द फंक्शन ऑफ कार्टिलेज प्रेजेंट इन throat? So here throat, and then discuss the role of ribs and diaphragm when air is taken in during breathing cycle. When air is taken in, what is the role of ribs and diaphragm? So तुमको respiratory system के बारे में यहाँ लिखना है. Next one, why do we get muscle cramp during heavy exercise? So lactic acid के बारे में लिखना है. To prevent it from collapsing, ठीक है. So we have the she-shaped cartilage ring in the उन लोगों ने थ्रोट करके लिखा है. थ्रोट नहीं होना चाहिए था वहाँ पे. कार्टिलेज रिंग हमको कहाँ पे होता है? विंड पाइप पे होता है, ठीक है. ट्रेकिया. So here let's see the answer now. The ring of cartilage is present in trachea, prevent it from collapsing when there is no air inside, ठीक है. फिर उसके बाद डायफ्रम फ्लैटन्स एंड रिप्स एक्सपेंड. हाँ, वो पूरा मैकेनिज्म लिखना है फिर हमको. डायफ्रम फ्लैटन हो रहा है, रिप्स एक्सपेंड हो रहा है, वो सब. हाँ, तो अब यहाँ पे हो गया हमारा ड्यूरिंग इनहेलेशन द रिप मूव्स अपवर्ड and outward, the diaphragm contract and moves downward, increasing the space in the chest cavity. So here diaphragm is moving during inhalation. When we inhale, when we take in air, the ribs move upward. and outward. Ribs are coming outward. Diaphragm contract. Diaphragm downward होता है, ribs outward होते हैं. So जिसके कारण हमारा अंदर प्रेशर लो हो जाता है, वॉल्यूम हाई हो जाता है. So as a result, air from outside rushes inside. फिर नेक्स्ट सीक्वेंस जस्ट इसका उल्टा लिखना है कि ड्यूरिंग एक्सलेशन रिप्स मूव अपवर्ड and diaphragm move upward, ribs inward, pressure increases, volume decreases, so it is given out. Next, during exercise, during severe exercise, what is happening? During heavy exercise, there is lack of oxygen in the muscle, hence anaerobic respiration will take place and there is formation of lactic acid. Due to formation of lactic acid, we get muscle cramp. Okay, next one. The following questions are source-based, case-based questions. The maintenance function of all living organisms must go on even when they are not doing anything particular. Even when. एक बार पढ़ लो फिर हम क्वेश्चन डिस्कस कर लें केस स्टडी वाला. आंसर डिस्कस कर लें. हाँ, तो अब यहाँ पे क्या दिया है? द मेंटेनेंस फंक्शन ऑफ ऑल लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म मस्ट गो ऑन इवन व्हेन they are not doing anything particular. So even when we are just sitting in a class or even asleep, this maintenance job has to go on. These maintenance process require energy to prevent damage and breakdown of the cell and tissue, which is obtained by individual organism from the food prepared by autotrophs called producers. So पहला question है name and define the process by which green plants prepare their food. Photosynthesis. Correct answer. Second वाला हो गया अभी तुमको. State the proper sequence, the event that occur in synthesis of food by desert plant. Desert plant में कैसे हो रहा है? Desert plant वाला भी एक topic था, if you remember. फिर next है during cloudy weather. Explain giving reason what happens, the rate at which green plants prepare food during cloudy weather. Cloudy weather में हमको sunlight कम हो जाता है. अगर sunlight कम हो जाएगा तो एंजाइम जो है वो एक्टिवेट नहीं होंगे क्योंकि पर्टिकुलर टेम्परेचर पे वो एक्टिवेट होते हैं, तो रेट ऑफ फोटोसिंथेसिस डिक्रीज हो जाएगा. फिर व्हेन स्टोमेटा गेट ब्लॉक ड्यू टू डस्ट, अगर स्टोमेटा ब्लॉक हो जा रहा है तो एक्सचेंज ऑफ गैसेस नहीं होगा, ऑक्सीजन उसको नहीं मिलेगा, उस केस में भी उसका रेट ऑफ फोटोसिंथेसिस कम हो जाएगा. चलो एक बार आंसर देख लें. एक बार डेजर्ट प्लांट वाला अच्छे से पढ़ लेना. द प्रोसेस इज फोटोसिंथेसिस, यू ऑलरेडी डिड. फोटोसिंथेसिस का तुमको रिएक्शन आता है 6CO2 + 6H2O. So in presence of chlorophyll and sunlight will give C6H12O6 + 6O2. Next question है in desert plant, ये वाला देख लो. Stomata remains closed during the डे टाइम. ये तुम्हारा वो पाथवे के जस्ट नीचे ही वाले पैराग्राफ में आंसर है एनसीईआरटी बुक में. सो during the daytime to reduce water loss and open at night to take in carbon dioxide. This helps the plant conserve water while carrying out photosynthesis. So here this is helping the plant to conserve water during photosynthesis. So उन्होंने पूछा है कि desert plant में क्या होता है. During daytime they keep it closed. Stomatas are closed as they survive in lack of oxygen, and during night they open it for carrying out water exchange. At night they take carbon dioxide and help in the to take the photosynthesis. फिर जो और वाला था क्लाउडी डे में सनलाइट लेस है, सो रेट ऑफ फोटोसिंथेसिस डिक्रीज. अगर स्टोमेटा ब्लॉक हो गया तो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कैन नॉट एंटर द लीव्स, सो इन दैट केस ऑल्सो फोटोसिंथेसिस विल डिक्रीज। हो गया नेक्स्ट आंसर, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे चले। एक 2025 के ही हमको क्वेश्चंस कितने सारे मिले, अभी 24 में फिर से कितने सारे क्वेश्चन शुरू हो रहे हैं। ओके नेक्स्ट ईयर stomata's close. So here it need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. It stomata's close when it need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. It does not need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. Water flows out of guard cells or water flows into the guard cells. When stomata will close? Stomata will close when water will flow out of the guard cells. So कौन सा आएगा? एक 2 थोड़ा रिलेवेंट लग रहा है और 3, 2 और 3 मतलब ऑप्शन नंबर सी। हाँ चलो आंसर चेक कर लें। करेक्ट सी है। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है स्टेट वन रोल ऑफ ईच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग। ह्यूमन डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम, यू नीड टू राइट रोल। सो 1 सेंटेंस आंसर है, ऑलरेडी आता है तुमको तो इसको फिर मैं स्किप कर लेती हूँ। हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड, इट किल्स द जर्म एंड मेक द मीडियम एसिडिक फॉर द फंक्शन ऑफ पेप्सिन। विलाई, इट इंक्रीज द surface area of absorption present in small intestine. फिर anal sphincter, so anal sphincter it close the anus, okay, keep the anus tight. थर्ड वाला, हाँ एनल स्पिंस्टर का ही बता रही हूँ कि एनस के पास में स्पिंटर मतलब क्या होता है, स्पिंटर मसल्स होता है एक रबर बैंड की तरह, विच टाइटन्स, एक ही हमारा स्टमक का एंट्री के पास रहता है, which prevent the food once if it will reach the stomach to come out to food pipe. वैसे ही वो एनस के पास होता है। अगर एनस के पास क्लोज वो स्पिंटर नहीं रहेगा तो जो वेस्ट है इट विल कम ऑटोमेटिकली। ओके, टू प्रिवेंट इट और टू कीप इट क्लोज टाइट, एनल स्पिंस्टर इज प्रेजेंट। एंड लाइपेज, इट हेल्प्स इन द डाइजेशन ऑफ फैट। सो ऑलरेडी हमने पढ़ लिया एमल्सिफाइड फैट को वो ग्लिसरॉल में कन्वर्ट कर रहा है। चलो एक बार आंसर देख लें। एनल स्पिंटर देखो, कंट्रोल द रिलीज ऑफ वेस्ट फ्रॉम द बॉडी थ्रू द एनस। ओके नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, व्हाई इज रेस्पिरेटरी पिगमेंट नीडेड इन मल्टीसेलर ऑर्गेनिज्म विथ लार्ज बॉडी साइज। क्यों रेस्पिरेटरी पिगमेंट चाहिए? क्योंकि डिफ्यूजन उनके लिए सफिशिएंट नहीं है ऑक्सीजन को पूरे बॉडी में सप्लाई करने के लिए, तो उनको एक पिगमेंट चाहिए जो कि ऑक्सीजन को कंबाइन करके हर एक बॉडी पार्ट्स को पहुंचाएगा। गिव रीज़न। नेक्स्ट वन 3 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन हो गया। फिर उसके बाद है गिव रीज़न फॉर द फॉलोइंग। रिंग्स ऑफ कार्टिलेज आर प्रेजेंट, ये ऑलरेडी तुमने कर लिया। लंग्स ऑलवेज कंटेन रेसिडुअल वॉल्यूम ऑफ एयर। क्यों लंग्स के अंदर रेसिडुअल वॉल्यूम रहता है? फॉर मोर एफिनिटी ऑफ ऑक्सीजन। हाँ नहीं, फॉर मोर एफिनिटी नहीं, पिगमेंट में एफिनिटी ज़्यादा होता है, लेकिन पिगमेंट क्यों प्रेजेंट होता है करके पूछा है। ठीक है, इसमें से देखो ये वाला क्वेश्चन अच्छा है। लंग्स के हमेशा रेसिडुअल वॉल्यूम क्यों होता है? क्योंकि कभी अगर कोई कोलैप्स हो गया तो दैट रेसिडुअल ऑक्सीजन विल मेक द ऑर्गेनिज्म टू सर्वाइव। नेक्स्ट है वॉल्स ऑफ एल्वियोलाई कंटेन्स एक्सटेंसिव नेटवर्क ऑफ ब्लड वेजल्स टू हैव अ रिच सप्लाई ऑफ ऑक्सीजन एक्सचेंज ऑफ गैसेस। तो ये सारे क्वेश्चंस अच्छे हैं, इनके आंसर्स एक बार देख लो। लार्ज एनिमल डिफ्यूजन alone cannot deliver enough oxygen throughout the body. Instead, respiratory pigments are essential because, why the respiratory pigments are essential? Because they absorb oxygen from the air in the lungs, transport oxygen to tissue that need it, release oxygen where it is required. First one, absorb oxygen from the air. ठीक है, absorption के लिए important है. Second one, transport oxygen to tissue. And the third one, release oxygen where it is required. Okay, next one. In human, the main respiratory pigment is hemoglobin found in the blood cells, which has a strong affinity for oxygen. Carbon dioxide is mostly carried out in dissolved form. ये आंसर एक बार पढ़ लो, हाँ, या फिर स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो ताकि तुम इसको पढ़ सको। नेक्स्ट वन, कार्टिलेज वाला तो तुमको आता है। व्हेन वी ब्रीथ इन, डायफ्राम फ्लैटन्स एंड रिप्स लिफ्ट, मेकिंग द चेस्ट कैविटी लार्जर, विच ड्रॉज द एयर इनटू द लंग्स। इसके पहले था रेसिडुअल अमाउंट ऑफ एयर क्यों होता है? लंग्स रिटेन अ रेसिडुअल वॉल्यूम ऑफ एयर टू अलाउ टाइम फॉर ऑक्सीजन एब्जॉर्प्शन एंड कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड रिलीज। ठीक है, ताकि कोलैप्स ना हो जाए पर्सन. फॉर द एक्सचेंज ऑफ गैसेस इट हैव द रेसिडुअल अमाउंट ऑफ ऑक्सीजन. हो गया, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन शुरू कर लें. नेक्स्ट वाले में दिया, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट ट्रू अबाउट द ह्यूमन हार्ट. राइट एट्रियम रिसीव्स ऑक्सीनेटेड ब्लड, गलत है. लेफ्ट एट्रियम ट्रांसफर ऑक्सीनेटेड ब्लड टू लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल, देन इट सेंड टू वेरियस बॉडी पार्ट्स. हाँ, करेक्ट है. राइट एट्रियम रिसीव्स डीऑक्सीनेटेड ब्लड थ्रू वेना केवा फ्रॉम अपर एंड लोअर बॉडी पार्ट्स, सही है. फिर नेक्स्ट है, लेफ्ट एट्रियम ट्रांसफर्स ऑक्सीनेटेड ब्लड टू अरोटा विच सेंस टू डिफरेंट बॉडी पार्ट्स. सो विच स्टेटमेंट्स आर ट्रू बोला है, दो ट्रू है. कौन से बताओ जल्दी, कौन से दो स्टेटमेंट्स. सी, बी था लेफ्ट, हाँ, और C1. वेरी गुड, बोथ आर करेक्ट. क्यों, ये भी तो सही है ना. लेफ्ट एट्रियम ट्रांसफर द ऑक्सीनेटेड ब्लड टू, अच्छा एट्रियम दिया है, वहाँ से पहले वेंट्रिकल नहीं दिया है ना, इसलिए. ओके, ऑप्शन नंबर सी इज करेक्ट. नेक्स्ट वन, photosynthesis take place in the leaves and food prepared by it reaches other part of the plant. Name the process involved and explain. Already कर चुके हो. Which of the following statement is true. सेम वही आ रहा है, ह्यूमन ब्लड वाला ही. अब हमारे क्वेश्चन सारे रिपीटेड हो जा रहे हैं, देखो ऑलरेडी ये सब क्वेश्चन हमने कर लिए हैं. हाँ, ये वाला एक ठीक है, बताओ. इन ह्यूमन बींग्स when the process of digestion is completed, when the process of digestion is completed, protein, carbohydrate and fat are respectively converted into. प्रोटीन से हमारा हो जाएगा, प्रोटीन converts into amino acid, carbohydrate into glucose and fat to fatty acid and glycerol. Option number B. Next one, we need to water the soil in plant on regular basis, but it ultimately reaches the leaves of the plant. Explain how this take place. So तुमको ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के बारे में बताना है कि जाइलम कैसे ले रहा है डिफ्यूजन से, फिर उसके बाद वहाँ से आगे बढ़ रहा है, फिर उसके बाद सक्शन प्रेशर होता है जिससे कि वो ऊपर जाता है. हो जाएगा ना. ऑप्शन नंबर बी, पिछले वाला आंसर बता रहा है. हाँ, बी है. फिर उसके बाद वाला नेक्स्ट, ट्रांसपिरेशन पुल के बारे में बताना है. The process in which transport of soluble product of photosynthesis take place in the plant is known as. Process in which the soluble product of the photosynthesis. जल्दी बताओ क्या आएगा, बताओ. ऑप्शन नंबर डी, ट्रांसलोकेशन. वेरी गुड. समटाइम्स while running the athletes suffer from the muscle cramp. ये बहुत बार हो चुका है, करने का जरूरत नहीं है. Write the other name for lymph. Write the other name given to lymph. State its true function. ये आता है other name for lymph. ये आंसर देख लो, बी वाला. टिश्यू फ्लूइड. अदर नेम ऑफ lymph is टिश्यू फ्लूइड और एक्स्ट्रा सेलुलर फ्लूइड. टिश्यू फ्लूइड और एक्स्ट्रा सेलुलर फ्लूइड, ठीक है, lymph का अदर नेम. फिर उसके बाद नेक्स्ट का lymph का फंक्शन पूछा है. इट कैरीज डाइजेस्टेड एंड एब्जॉर्ब फैट फ्रॉम द इंटेस्टाइन and it drains excess fluid from extracellular space back into the blood. Fight against infection. ये वाला आंसर एक तुमको कॉपी करना है. lymph का फंक्शन एंड व्हाट इज द अदर नेम ऑफ lymph, वो एक बार देख लो. हाँ, हो गया ना. अब नेक्स्ट देखो, डिजाइन एन एक्सपेरिमेंट टू डेमोन्स्ट्रेट दैट कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इज एसेंशियल फॉर फोटोसिंथेसिस. Write an observation and conclusion of the experiment. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एसेंशियल बोला है, तो वो जो तुमको एक्टिविटीज़ दिए हुए हैं टेक्स्ट बुक के, वो सारे एक्टिविटीज़ पढ़ने हैं. 3 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन है. फिर एक्सपेरिमेंट सेटअप इज शोन. तो यहाँ पे हमारा हेक्सेल डेयर के बारे में बता रहा है. लाइम वाटर है, जब हम लाइम वाटर में एयर को हेक्सेल करेंगे तो उसमें कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड होता है, तो लाइम वाटर मिल्की टर्न हो जाएगा. वो ऑब्जर्वेशन के बारे में बताना है. फिर ह्यूमन रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम है, वो आता है. The amount of oxygen dissolved in water is very high as compared to the amount of oxygen in air. टू स्टेटमेंट्स, असर्शन और रीजन वाला पढ़ रही हूँ. असर्शन दिया है, रेट ऑफ ब्रीथिंग इन एक्वेटिक ऑर्गेनिज्म इज मच फास्टर देन द टेरेस्ट्रियल ऑर्गेनिज्म. असर्शन हमारा ट्रू है, लेकिन रीजन गलत दिया है. अमाउंट ऑफ ऑक्सीजन डिजॉल्व इन वाटर इज वेरी हाई, इट्स लो कंपेयर टू ऑक्सीजन इन एयर, इसलिए वो फास्टर ब्रीथ करते हैं. ओके विवेक, एक बार तुम पिछला वाला देख लो. ऑप्शन नंबर सी, assertion is true but reason is false. हाँ, जो तुमने पिछला वीडियो मिस किया है वो तुमको एक बार देखना है. अभी नेक्स्ट है, हाँ अभी आज के लिए अब मैं क्लास कंप्लीट कर दे रही हूँ. जो तुम्हारा मिस हुआ है वो तुम एक बार देख लो. और कल क्या करना है बताओ मुझे. कल एक स्टूडेंट ने, किसी ने बोला था कि उसको लाइव प्रोसेस करना है, पर वो अटेंड ही नहीं किया आज. कल क्या करना है. अभी विवेक मैथ्स भी शुरू कर ले, रोज आधे घंटा या फिर 45 मिनट्स मैथ्स भी करे, क्योंकि पहला पेपर मैथ्स है ना. हर दिन अगर एक चैप्टर का रिवीजन कर लेते हैं, कोई एक चैप्टर का PYQ अगर कर लेते हैं तो वो तुमको बेनिफिशियल रहेगा. और कल से टाइम से ज्वाइन करना. हाँ, कंट्रोल एंड कोऑर्डिनेशन का करेंगे और थोड़ा टाइम से ज्वाइन करो. हाँ, कल मैं 4 बजे शुरू कर दूँगी. हाँ, बायो कंप्लीट कर लूँगी 4 बजे से लेके थोड़ा जल्दी बायो का कंप्लीट करूँगी. आइदर 4 और 3:45, वहाँ से थोड़ा अटेंटिव रहना. 45 मिनट्स हम बायो करें और 45 मिनट्स मैथ्स करें कल से. मतलब जो भी बायो और साइंस 45 मिनट्स एंड 45 मिनट्स मैथ्स. Okay, I'm winding up class now. So whatever you missed, once you go through with that,